Hello! I'm back! And I almost inhaled water because I'm a dumbass. Anyways, we're gonna do more Endwalker today because I want to continue the story and I haven't started to continue it yet. So this will be our next session. When last we left off, we kind of fixed something. We got rid of one tower and the plot was thickening. Sound the bell, school's in. Kyle and Grahatia were having a pleasant conversation until you barged in. That's incredibly accurate. He's a very interrupting kitty. Oh, there you are. Feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the studium as it happens. I wanted to try and speak with the scholarch Montaigne. I'm not getting that right. And thank him for coming to our rescue in the rostra. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we'd already departed for Thavnair. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for Y'shtola and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? Oh yeah, we're trying to convince the Alliance to go to war. Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphinaud can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to the phenomenon. Considering my recent impropriety, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the studium for a time. That might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. Oh yeah, Graha went snooping. And he learned a levitation spell because, excuse me for my hiccups, because he is short. Heading out for a stroll. The scholarch himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the studium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphinaud of all people worrying over his reputation. And in our alma mater, no less. Will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go? Cool. Can I take an Aethernet shard there? I can. And so I'm going to, because I am lazy. Here it is. Phenomenon. While I expect you made note of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the extensive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the center of what would later become the studium, it was established to promote the study of aetherological phenomenon, hence the name. Though with aether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the 6th Astral Era, phenomenon was decreed complete, and the studium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is without question the world's leading authority in aetherology, the arcane, the occult, astromancy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Sharlayan's foremost educational institute. Oh my god. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited the same foppish speech. I love, that is my favorite word. Foppery. I love that word. Such is his undying love for his old stamping ground. He was in top form back then, youngest to enter the studium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and aetherology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on, you both joined the studium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you're equally prodigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphino certainly actually entered half a year before me, nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors. And I am certainly not the Studium's most notorious master debater. In all respects, have I ever been in his shadow? If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Levieur began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades. Hopefully we'll be somewhat more welcome here than when we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the adoration the student body has for Alphino, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Well, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for a scholar. Let's look for Scholar Montaigne. Other faculty tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him. I like it. He's out and about, exercising his legs. Working, getting leg day and doing his steps. Oh. Looks like he's fine. Script exchange? Wait, what? The House of Splendors only conducts business with referred individuals. Surely you understand. Hello, young Lalafell. Let me just repair this real quick. Oh my word. Why is everything damaged? Everything's so damaged. What the heck? That was Alphino Levieur, wasn't it? The Alphino Levieur. And he's with his sister and Master Baldessian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Oh, sorry. You said you're looking for the scholar, yes? Knowing him, he could be anywhere, but Miss Eliapo should have a better idea. He's just panicking. It's like, oh my gosh, Alphino came back. That means that everything's gonna explode. It's Alphino himself in the flesh. He spoke to me. He actually spoke to me. Oh my word. I assure you, I'll tell you all about it after my business with the Scholark has concluded. The Scholark? Tell me, my good fellow, does this have something to do with saving the world from catastrophe? Might we turn our attention to Master Levieur's graduation thesis? I too have my doubts regarding our policy of non-intervention. Is it true that your experiences overseas are the reasons you have incurred the ire of the Forum? Oh, what I wouldn't give to see you butt heads with those old codgers. Oh gosh. Alphino! Oh, my poor little bro. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna rescue you right now. Good luck with them. Eorzea, I'm gonna leave you to that. Let's find Eliapo. Qui? Eliapo? Qui? Are you lost? Wander off in the street, perhaps. Wait, don't tell me. You're a trainee gleaner fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? No, you are not. Oh, how silly of me. An orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searcher's Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the studium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal in here at Searcher's Meet. Whenever the student or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. I have Paisa this, tongue of giant toad that. It's enough to make your hair stand on end. which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you'll have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. The only thing I'm interested in gleaning is information on the Scholark's whereabouts. Tracked down many miscellaneous knickknacks in my time, but I'm no gleaner. Ooh, how sassy does Dim want to be today? He's gonna be very sassy. I beg your pudding? You're not a gleaner? Then this was all an elaborate ruse? No, wait. Come to think of it, you never actually claimed to be one in the first place. My mistake. Oh, she's precious. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see it on the opposite side of the entrance. It's a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive, curious, not to mention alarmingly frequent, accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. In the time it's taken me to tell you all of this, the Scholark has probably already left. Best luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Oh dear. I'm just gonna be continually thwarted by people who are just like, here, let me talk to you. Until you can't go find him. This is gonna be terrible. Where is he? Where he be? Oh, nope. That's someone. Level-headed student. Hello, friend Elizant. Yes, the Scholark was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though he spoke at length, I don't recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor. Perhaps to one of the auditoriums? Off we go again. Bears still surrounding Alphino. There he is. Hey, buddy. Buddy, old pal, old friend.
Ah, I remember you.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisoix in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye.
Aww.
You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
You need advice on how to handle Dim. Unmanageable. Unmanageable as his hair.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic.
Mouse, click, clicky,
As
click.
such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat.
Ah. Tim's eyes are gigantic. Oh, he's studying. Cute.
We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into 3 forms. 2 are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the 3rd?
Corporeal ether, magic,
The answer is corporeal ether.
Of course.
This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. Consumed by even the simplest of daily activities and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux.
That's our blood sugar.
In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it. Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink, the same type of ether as comprises the memories?
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The 7th Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace?
Yes. Until it's in the wrong hand.
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea. For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable. Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet. I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you.
Aww.
I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend.
Heck yeah.
Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan.
Ki.
And her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
That laugh is terrifying. I'm scared of him. What the heck? I forgot to swap. I need to remember to swap my class. You've been granted the run of Phenomenon. If you are game, Ki Aliapol would put your artistry to good use. Alright, remember to swap classes, me. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the form's true motives, and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny. I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way we could better acquaint yourself with Ki Aliapo, as the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. Okay. We'll talk to Ki Aliapo. Or not. I'm assuming I'm just too low level. Yep. Level 80 lander hand. Okay. So that's crafting stuff. Can I get stuff now? Nope. And if that's script exchange, actually, that's gonna be crafting stuff. Which I cannot do, because I'm a baby crafter. just been leveling stuff up with the Grand Company turn-ins. Just kind of like passively leveling it. It's a good system though, it's nice. Estinian! Ah, welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the Studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. Let us start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Probably have to call this sooner than expected. I got hit by a wave of tired, and I can feel my eyelids starting to droop. Phew, I didn't realize these crates were so heavy. They are the size of her. How did she carry those? I shouldn't complain, though. Vritra and the alchemists of the Great Work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Of course. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We're already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. To Limsa. Excellent. Oh, if we're going to Limsa, that's the wrong button. Aha, because he's in the Maelstrom. Hey! Oh yeah, a Halloween event? Feast your eyes? I will possibly stream that event soon, maybe in the next day or so. I've already done it on a couple of my characters, but I do need to do it on my other one, so I can do a quick walkthrough of it for you. Ah, I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seedseer and the Sultana. 3 of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Ooh, neck pop. Alright. Proceed to the command room. My apologies for calling you away from Sharlayan at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. 'Twas only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn that we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Sharlayan, all allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts, with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of kobolds, Sahagin, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph at Rod's Han has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Telophoroi at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilsabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered. Robbed of their free will, they serve the Telophoroi's every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I only ask that in choosing to remember, we do not forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Eorzea observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there is reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we'd failed to make any headway. The same could be said of the Telophoroi. There's certainly no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied, while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be sustained by Yshtola's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observations inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. A big yawn. Sorry. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good. But what would you have us do? I assume there's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsabard contingent. Consider it an official request from both the Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Everyone's looking at me. Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For honor and glory, for the people of Garlemald. For revenge against the Telophoroi! Vengeance. Vengeance at souls. Couldn't have put it better myself. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Eorzea have already pledged their support, and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Ralbon and Lord Amaric are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs, and like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Telophoroi so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. Oh, the badass music. Heck yeah, we're going to Ilsabard! To the Alamigan Quarter. And me, I gotta remember to swap. To swap to Dragoon to turn in. There we go. Also, I hit Dragoon 86. Ah! Of course, the Paisa. Bonk. I shouldn't do fancy flying when the things are so close together. Time to turn it in. Ah, the Wanderer's returned. You've been busy bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Aymeric be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Eorzea contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Please be careful. Oh, can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Aymeric's struggle is a mirror of my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Eorzea, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again! Oh, that's the wrong voice. Word of your exploits travels quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us. Strange. I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. But Talafor I have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varus and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Eorzea contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I'm branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. We will deliver your people from harm in your stead. I doubt they'll be pleased to see the champion of Eorzea set foot on Garlean soil. A fair point, but so long as you refrain from announcing your arrival to all and sundry, the average person should have no inkling as to your identity. Though your titles and deeds are common knowledge, only a select few would recognize you on sight alone. Perhaps one day they will learn that the Warrior of Light is not a demon to be feared, but a man deserving of their trust. Oh. He's absolutely not, he's a gremlin. In light of Gaius's rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you. All of you. Haha, experience! Factory Burger. The other members of the Eorzea contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Do I talk to them first? I do not. I kind of want to. So that's Gaius Baelsar. The horrors he must have seen. Many of his own making, I do not doubt. With the knowledge that our allies will hold the line in our absence, we may devote our attention to the Ilsabardian front. Ilsabardian. Ah, that's what it is. Suppose it's easy for some people to forget there are civilians in Garlemald too, when the only Imperials they've known are soldiers. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. Once we've seen the contingent on its way, I will return to my duties here in Alamigo. As many of our most capable will be traveling with you to Garlemald, we who remain will have to fight that much harder to make up the difference. But let no man say I do not welcome the challenge. Aye, this old bull isn't ready to hang up his horns yet. I neglected to mention earlier that we received a report from our troops that may be of interest to you. While engaged with a lunar primal, a great worm swooped down from the skies above and came to their aid. This worm, as described, was the spitting image of Tiamat. It would seem she too continues to wage war on the Telafroi. Excellent. Like Gaius, I too stand accused of Varus's murder, though I am rather less recognizable on sight. Still, it's something to bear in mind once we reach Garlemald. Oh, that's a good point. We gotta keep an eye on Estinian, make sure he's okay. Ah, the remaining members of the Scions. Your friends and most of the Ilsabard contingent await you within. Would you like me to see you through? Yes, please. I am thirsty.
By the 12.
Oh my word, the lighting. It's everyone.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of the Ilsabard contingent.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company. Everyone! If I may have your attention.
She's such a badass. This is so cool.
Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must. I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer, we shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
Hey, that's the Bard guy. Yeah, they're both the Bard guys.
Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya O sends her regards, by the way.
That's so cool. They freaking put out the fact that I'm a white mage! That's my level 90 healing class. Oh, I love that.
Suppose I'd better say my piece.
Yeah, you better.
Wait, I know you.
The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten. Any road, the Admiral asked Captain Hillfear to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me. Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, you gotta trust in the commander of your ship. So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but a promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do.
Look at him, the character girl.
Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy.
Excellent.
Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Oh, I believe you.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest. If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow. That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Tarapin and I will be leading from the front.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya? The Avatar of Destruction?
Brilliant.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest. But until then, let's give it our all.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead. Accordingly, I have been designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and guidance you require.
Oh, there is no better leader.
The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa.
Dragoon! Dragoon!
There is another awaiting introduction.
Manolane!
Lord Emanolane! Ah, yes.
Brother!
Emanolane de Forton, at your service.
Oh, my wayward brother.
Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
May your graceful Francine lead the way to victory. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring-do.
I believe that concludes introductions for the Grand Company of Eorzea. Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Dhim'a?
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various Eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable company of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Out of my way, you preening fool!
Yes! I forgot! Ah, she just pushes Magna. Oh. Badass.
Forgive us for coming late. We are the delegates of the Eastern Alliance.
Cyrena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as a step is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Dhim'a, only to find them beyond our reach.
Oh, they just want to beat them up.
But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Yes, Sadu.
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
Sadu Hatun, no. Sadu Hatun, yes!
Warriors of the Steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage, and are particularly adept at infiltrating Imperial facilities. Which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire. I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy. But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven herself a trusted ally time and time again. Every Eorzean here knows Cid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Dhim'a. So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy, but we're all determined to make this world a better place.
What lingering concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Then we are in accord. Now, let us review our strategy. To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garlond Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey. However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would attract the attention of the Telophoroi. As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigational systems, further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities. The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand, it will also allow others to easily spot us, so it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet. We will be tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Excellent. Oh, that's so badass. I love the fact that they add in that little tidbit where they talk to you about your white mage thing. Yeah, Rune. In case you were wondering, Shiva will be staying behind to defend the Trollswood with my sisters. She was of the opinion that she would make a useful addition to our contingent, and was eager to make good on her vow to accompany me as well, which was flattering. But ultimately it was decided that her skills would be better put to use keeping us safe, keeping our homeland safe. I am of course obligated to share with her every detail when I return. Good. Can I talk to the old mentor? Can I talk to her? Ulbrich! Let me have a look at you. Touch nervous to enter the battlefield, perhaps? Well, I shall be out there alongside you as a temple knight, serving with your fine van. Though I may not look it, I was the Azure Dragoon once upon a time, so you can rest assured I will give all I have in the coming fight. I certainly won't be shown up by you or Estinian. Oh, I love that. Manolane. Well, if I'd known what a social gathering it would turn out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems a perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Sirena and Sadhu of the Steppe? Perhaps I should introduce myself, though I don't much like the look of that fellow with the enormous axe. I need to do more leveling on classes. Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalja and several other tribes offered to send us troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsebard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telophoroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defenses in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honors? Sirena! We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. Warding scales. These enchanted talismans, or should that be talismen, would probably require considerably less time and effort to produce if the alchemists of the Great Work were not so preoccupied with making them look pretty. Oh, the talismans! We are to keep these close at all time, yes? I will see that no one misplaces theirs. And before I forget, I have a message from Hian. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stand, together fight. In darkness shines the light of life. I hope I have done his words justice. Dhim'a, like much of Althard, has been plagued by the towers. Yet while he could not be here, he wished to express his shared conviction. Hian and Yugiri labor without rest to unite the people. With their aid, we keep the enemy at bay. And we of the Steppe and Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war. Yes? I have a scale. Came from an actual dragon. Dragon flesh. So these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. I myself am especially grateful for this opportunity to visit distant lands. I wish to follow in the footsteps of Master Atoa and learn all there is to learn of the star we call home. Indeed, this is the primary reason I volunteered to join the expedition. To journey outside the Twelveswood, much less enter into Imperial territory, is a rare privilege afforded a Pajdal. Not that I'm tagging along to see the sights. The Garleans would benefit from my healing magics, as would our comrades, should fighting break out. It's true. I hear you got something for us. Ah, them scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, aren't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gill or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. And one more thing. I know what you're all thinking. Why didn't they send Inzar instead? Who's that? Buggered if I know. Oh, all the Admiral and Captain Neilfair told me was that they needed someone to help safeguard the future. And here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humor. Of course, some of you might be wondering what a good pirate is on dry land in the middle of the sodden snow of all places. Me and my crew will do whatever needs doing, so let's set sail, or however the saying goes on airships. I mean, Dip's a sailor too. He's a little bit of a cat out of water. That set of warding scales I spy? Not that I would know what they'd look like. It is indeed. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with aether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves? Is that the right term? Anyway, these'll give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of whatever else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And, nervous or not, I'd march through all 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. Yeah, that's a good plan. Warding scales for the Ishgardian delegation, I take it. Yes, it is. There you go. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald. Sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. Hello, Jan. Sorry about that. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Aymeric. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. Yeah. Hey, Maxima. Nope. I've led troops into battle many a time, but never a unit with such diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you could provide additional insights into their strengths and weaknesses. I'd appreciate any advice you may have. Excellent. Maxima! Do you have a warding scale for me too? Yeah, we don't want you getting tempered. There you go. Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice if I may. You have been told by many to wear the cold of Ilsebard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures, courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now, let us proceed to the Alamegan Quarter. While you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airships. Time to turn in! This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You needn't worry about Eorzea and I. We still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Estinian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his armor, and since he's spent a fair bit of time up north recently as well, I have no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point on it, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. Only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark, is that a cry of scions in need of a tailor, I hear? It's Tataru! But how? I have my ways, oh yes indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsabard without telling me? Ha! Nothing escaped my notice. Oh. Now you will wear these garments I've made for you, whether you like it or not. Cute. You never cease to amaze. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather, the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how can I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? I love that she's just all of the different crafters in one. Ah, I did have one other thing to share. Eorzea and Bloomweeda have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep eyes on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Sharlayan? Oh, why not? You can keep Kryl company in the Baldessian Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. And I hear Eorzea and Bloomweeda did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again, because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in a position to transport your souls to another world, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'll be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Sharlayan. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Alright, Dim, you're gonna have to put on some clothes. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. Oh my gosh, North Sea coat. Magnificent. Graha all excited. Alright, first things first. Gotta get a look at this coat on him. Oh my word. Dim, you look so goofy, but I love it. Now, here's the thing. I may have been preparing for this moment for a very long time, and I have prepared a glam, especially for this occasion. Give me a moment. No. We're not doing that yet, Dim. Where'd I put it? I know it's in here somewhere. I lost it. Can't remember which plate I put it on. There it is. And now we gotta put it on his other one as well. And I lost it again. Immediately lost it. I'm so bad at remembering numbers. This is terrible. There it is. Alright. You ready for this? You ready for this? Ta-da! He is prepared. Look at him in his warm coat and his goofy hat. I have a goofy hat collection on him, and now he gets to wear it And his boots! This is probably the most expensive outfit I have. And he has the wrong pants on. One moment. I don't know why it did his pants like that. Oh, because it looks stupid. That's right, I changed it back because the little stripy parts were bothering me. Never mind, he looks fine. He is as he is. Alright, let's continue. Tataru is desperately trying to retain her composure as she prepares to see you off on another perilous journey. I'm told the airship pilot has been sent to meet you. Oh. Ah, there he is. Alright, this is where we go our separate ways. Do be careful, won't you? Oh. I wanted to do this tonight. It's an honor to finally meet you. We at the Garland Ironworks will be ferrying you and your contingent across the mountains into Garlemald. For many of us, this will be something of a homecoming. Our illustrious founder was only our most notable Imperial defector. For that reason, the company is committed to the success of this expedition. Our resources are at your disposal, and if there is aught we might do to be a further assistant, please do not hesitate to ask. If you are ready to depart, we will ready the engines. On boarding the airship, several cutscenes will play in sequence. Okay, so we're not doing this tonight. But you have gotten to see the boy in his outfit, in his glam. Looking fabulous. Also, I found out about oh gosh. I found out about, camera tilt today. So now, I can do this. Y'all get to watch him dance. It is green. Why? I don't know why. Because that's just how I am. Alright. Anyways. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you had fun. I had a good time. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time when we go to Garlemald to freeze our little tails off. Sleep well, guys. And take care.